Hello, you beautiful, magnanimous souls. So I was just talking, how many times do I sit here and talk in my car? All right, I talk in my car, I talk in my bed, I talk all over the place about shit that's important for people to know. Okay, so today, what I'm talking about, so this song, I'm only human after all, I'm only human after all, don't put your blame on me. So don't put your blame on me, right? Okay, so there's a reason why I have a beef with this song, and this I just went off a little bit talking about this song because we're talking about having accountability for ourselves, right? So the only reason why we feel like we need to have an excuse for being only human is because we feel like we let somebody else down in some way. We need to answer to somebody else. We need to explain as to what mistake we made was by fault because we're human. So again, it's not the song that I have an issue with, but I'm just trying to land home a really important message here about taking accountability, because I'm talking about the 4 A's. You know, I'm going to continue talking about the 4 A's to emotional mastery, emotional stability, independence, and also how we can really allow, from both perspectives, allow us to remain in a Zen state, in a peaceful, calm, Zen, you know, unbothered state. Let's just say unbothered, okay? So don't put your blame on me. So if somebody else wants to blame you for something that you did, well, first thing you can say is, well, why did you have an expectation of me in the first place not to do what you thought I wasn't going to do? Yeah, I may have let you down, but that's not my responsibility how you're going to feel about my actions. Totally true. What we need to do as a society, and we're going to get better and better and better at this, is we're going to release blaming other people for being themselves. Everybody's going to learn lessons. We need to stop saying they made a mistake. Nobody's making mistakes out here, people. Nobody's making mistakes. We're just learning lessons. You're the only one that's a judge of you, after all. You're the only critic of you. You're the only one at the end of the day, before your eyes close at bedtime, of how you feel about the actions that you made that day. Now, if you're a sociopath and psychopath, this does not apply, because you're completely detached from your heart chakra and you're not able to make logical decisions about what's for the betterment of other people. You know, you're taken away from the well-being of others, likely, you know, again, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about like the average human, like the average human who does have their moments of repenting, right? Where they're like, oh, shoot, shouldn't have done that today. Or I wish I wouldn't have done that today. Or I wish I would have said that today, because now I feel all crappy right now. And, you know, maybe I should go apologize and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Right? So, you know, if there is something that you did that doesn't make you feel comfortable, you are judging yourself on that action, right? And then if it is something that you really didn't like, you know, you can repent and then ask for forgiveness, okay? And forgive yourself, ask for the higher power forgiveness, forgive. And then make a promise. That promise is, I'm never going to do that again. And these are the reasons why, because I don't like the way I feel right now. I don't like how I just how I just judged myself. And I don't like how I'm feel about this, right? So that's great, right? But another level to that is understanding that if it involved any other human and they are sitting there blaming you or shaming you for something that you might have done, you're not accountable for their well-being, emotional well-being. Now, if you deliberately did something to hurt them, you taking accountability for your actions is what we need to start doing. Don't say, well, I'm only human after all. Well, yeah, you are only human, but if you're making a mistake that's perceived as a mistake by the other person, and it's a lesson that you now can become a better version of you, because it's a character trait that you've had for many years because of a trauma that you've experienced as a child. Well, now we can grow, now we can learn, now we got legs. Now that's got legs to really mean something for you and for the person involved. So the person involved can learn more about themselves, and you can learn more about yourself as well at the same time. whole blaming and shaming game needs to go. It's totally outdated and it's not helping us. It's continuing to support the divide and conquer agenda. I mean, it really is. You know, judgment, 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 judgment. Because the only reason why you're blaming and shaming somebody else is because you're judging them, thinking that they shouldn't have made that decision. And another reason is because you have an expectation of them. So release any and all expectations of anybody outside of you. Don't be surprised when they go against you and all of a sudden they betray you and you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that. And then you're like, well, no, I had an expectation of them to not do that. Well, wait, why? Why did you have an expectation of them to not do that? I don't care if you've known them for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Why did you have an expectation of them to not screw you over? Why? Because that's not being responsible to yourself, you see. Allowing everybody to be just the way they want to be, and if they do make a mistake and betray you after 20, 30, 40 years, and you're like, dang, I would have never thought that they would have gone against me after that long. I thought they knew me. I thought they cared about me. I thought they, they really wanted like the best for me. Well, then one day you find out they didn't. But they don't owe you anything. They never owed you respect, kindness, loyalty, appreciation, or they didn't owe you anything. Nobody owes you anything. So don't stop having expectations of them that they do. Just know that at any point in time, someone can turn around and betray you, and you could learn something extremely valuable through that process. So once you detach their action as taking it personally, so you're not taking it personally now, their action is now like, okay, well, they betrayed me. So how can I get better at discerning of whether or not somebody may be disloyal or unloyal to me? Because very, very likely, if you had a relationship with them for, 20, 30 years, there have been signs. There have been red flags, and maybe little tiny red flags, but there's signs that are telling you that this person may not be fully loyal to you. Right? But since you've had such a long-term relationship with them, you've accepted those aspects of them, not thinking that one day it might happen to you. They may display that type of energy with you, but why not? Why wouldn't they? So allow them to be just the way that they want to be. They're not doing it to you because they're, spiting you. And maybe they are. Maybe they did it because they were spiting you. It doesn't matter their intentions. You now have released all expectations of them. You don't care whether or not they are honest with you, loyal to you, respectful towards you. You don't care what their action is towards you. Because now it's just a reflection of themselves after all. It has something to do with you. But now it's, okay, well now I can use this as a lesson for me to become a better version of me and how I can be more discerning on whether or not I could allow somebody in that close to me. Are they trustworthy enough to allow them into my energy and allow them into my life that closely? Where if they do betray me, it's not, it's not going to throw me off kilter a little bit. Right? So release expectations of everyone and everything. Nobody owes you anything. And what I was talking about earlier, before even I had that song, I'm only human after all. Before that song, I was talking about text messages. Nobody even owes you a response to a text. You send a text message to someone, and you're expecting them to respond. You don't expect them to respond like that, especially if they're somebody that you're talking to frequently. So there's 3 different examples that I'd like to share with you when it comes to text message responding or absent responding. What are they get? Blackballing you? Is that not blackballing? Oh gosh, I don't even know what it's called. Oh, stonewalling. Are they stonewalling you? By not responding at all, right? I guess that's the term. But here's the 3 different scenarios. You've got somebody in your life that you routinely talk to, for however however frequent or infrequent it may be, but there is a certain level of consistency of contact that you have with that person, whether it may be like once a month, or once every other month, or maybe once a week, whatever it may be, right? Okay, so you send a text out to that person, and guess what? You have an expectation that they're going to respond. Why? Because that's been the history of your dynamic ever since up until this point. Now that you're thinking about it, right? Hey, they've always responded within however long. Maybe they're at work. Maybe they won't get back to you that same day. I mean, with each individual person that you interact with, they may respond at different times. Well, let's say they don't ever respond again. You send a text message. You send a text message. Now you're like, well, whoa, I'm getting in worried status, because now I'm not taking this personally, like they're just ignoring me or stonewalling me. No. There must be something wrong with this person. Maybe you might even be drawn in to go to their house, check on them, make sure they're okay. You call them. Wait, Well, what if there's something going on with that person that they, let's say they lost their phone, right? Okay, so there's a million and one things that can go on in your mind about that person. But let's just say they found out something about you that you didn't anticipate them finding out. Let's say there's something that you did that could have hurt them 20 years ago, but you totally forgot about it. And now they found out. And they just decided to just not say a word to you and remove themselves entirely from your energy. Do they owe you something? Do they owe you an explanation as to why they disconnected their energy from you? After all, you were the one that betrayed them how many years ago before that? But you just forgot about it? This is when you have to be really careful when it comes to people disconnecting their energy from you, is because you have to ask yourself, well, is there anything that I could have possibly done throughout the whole lifetime of me being a friend with that person that could have caused them to not want to talk to me again? Again, they don't owe you an explanation. They don't owe you a reason. Nobody owes you anything. So what if they found out? And they're just like, no, it's just so much. I don't want to have to explain. I don't want to have to confront them. I don't want to have to do anything that's going to involve bringing in some sort of abrasion to our dynamic. I'm just going to separate my energy. I love them, and this person could easily just release you, not talk to you ever again, with love in their heart, forgiveness in their heart. You won't know that because you never went to them and brought up the truth to them about what you might have done to cause them to do this. Maybe you're just like, well, gosh, they have no reason to do this because there's no possible way they could have found out what I did 20 years before behind their back that they shouldn't have ever known. Well, what if they did? Some way, somehow, there are forces at play that allowed this person to find out what you did. You don't have those answers, but the only answer you do have is, are you holding yourself accountable for how you might have played a role in that person not responding to you? Okay, this is just an example in a scenario. Just an example in a scenario. So if this scenario, so number two, the second type of person you're interacting with. Let's say there's somebody that you haven't spoken to in a while, and you're like, okay, I want to connect with them again. I haven't talked to them in 6 to 8 months or whatever, and I would love to see what they're up to now, and so you left on good terms with this person, with this group, in this example. You really didn't leave, you just, lived life, right? Life just kind of naturally gravitated the energy between you two apart a little bit, right? You just living your life, they're living their life, whatever. So they reach out, and let's say that person does not respond. And you're like, well, what the heck? Okay, well, hey, no big deal. Maybe they didn't get it. Maybe I'll send a different message to them. Maybe instead of text message, maybe I'll I'll DM them instead. Or maybe I'll leave a voicemail or something. And let's say they don't respond. Now you're sitting there being like, wait a minute, what did I do wrong? Now you're thinking about you. Now you're thinking about the situation. Now you're thinking about, right? No. All you have to do is just know that nobody owes you shit. Nobody owes you a response. What if they're going through a major spiritual transformation? They haven't checked their voicemails because they're receiving such adversity through the opposing forces that are manipulating and playing games with them that they don't know who they can trust, where they can go. They have no idea of whether or not you are affiliated with the opposing forces trying to mess with them or play a game with them. So they would just rather not respond at all. It has nothing to do with you. But yeah, you're coming up with all of these things. Well, they must be a fool, or they must be hating me for no reason, but whatever. I don't deserve that. No, it actually has nothing to do with you. What if, in this case, it has nothing to do with you? They're not responding because they're protecting their own mental and emotional health, well-being. Nobody owes you Nothing. Nobody owes you a response. Nobody, just release expectations of others. Let's get better at releasing expectations of others so we can have our own zen. We can have our own peace. We can have our own tranquility. We can have our own highest version of self being portrayed at all times. Because we love another person just the way that they are. We don't expect them to be any sort of way. We don't expect them to respond. You don't expect them to. No expectations whatsoever. So, all right? Because then they can never disappoint you. Nobody could ever disappoint you ever again if you don't have expectations of them. And you see everything just as a lesson that you need to learn that's going to create a higher and better version of you. That's all we got here, folks. We got lessons. And people are there to help us learn about ourselves. They're there as operating as a catalyst, the exact catalyst that we need, the very exact catalyst that we need to learn more about ourselves, to become a better version of ourselves at all times. Whether they're being an intentional douchebag or an unintentional douchebag, it does not matter what their intentions are. Allow them to be whatever intention or unintentional they are, and you love them regardless. Because now you don't have to change your energy towards them. You're not judging them in any way. You're not blaming them or shaming them. They're not accountable for how you feel. You're accountable for how you feel. Only you are accountable for how you feel at all times. Nobody else is responsible for how you feel. So when you release expectations of others, well, now you take back all of your power. You take back all of your power. You're completely emotionally independent now. Nobody can sway you or rock your boat. Okay? So now we got the third call. Third text message, third friend. Let's say there's somebody that you haven't spoken to in 10 years. And you just saw them somewhere out and about and you exchange energy and you like exchange phone numbers and stuff, and then you text message them, and again, stonewalling moment, they don't respond, right? Okay, so you've got the gist of what's happening here, but we're just shifting the dynamic of the people that you might be interacting with, and what you may or may not have expectations for. Because hey, guess what? The person that you haven't seen in 10 years and you just, you wouldn't expect them to possibly respond, maybe not that day or maybe not that month or maybe really ever. Your expectation of them to have a response is a lot less than somebody that you interact with on the daily, right? Right? So, just giving you examples of the varying levels of expectations that we have of others based on our dynamic with them. I'm married to them. They owe me this. No, not even if they're married to you. Yep, there's a piece of paper that says they are yours and you're his and all that stuff. What if they fell in love with somebody? Somewhere. Sometime. They just decided to take off. No, you're going to be totally distraught. Because you expected them not to do that ever. And that's not you taking care of you. That's you having an expectation of somebody else that ended up betraying you. See, what I'm teaching you right now is how to become completely resilient. Completely resilient. And nobody ever being able to hurt your heart or break your heart ever again. Do you want to know how freaking valuable this is, man. This is valuable stuff, man. And this was even, what makes it so golden, like so beautiful in its magnanimous abundance that it is that you get to love more powerfully, more fully, more unconditionally, in the highest, purest truth that unconditional love could possibly be expressed in. But yet, you're resilient and not ever being able to get hurt by somebody else. So you'll be able to love more stronger, more powerful, more intense. But yet, you cannot ever get hurt again. These are the things that I started to learn when I was going through my transformational, like in the last 6 years and stuff. I started to learn all this stuff. Because I had nothing but heartaches, nothing but betrayal. So I learned a lot about how to maintain my emotional equilibrium when it comes to all the betrayal, all of the lies, all of the disappointment, all of the heartbreaks, all of the all of the disloyalty, all of the to the extreme, all of the, right? Because I knew that everything was happening for me. I knew that this was just a manifestation. Other people around me are doing all of these things for my benefit so I can become a better version of me. How can I become a better version of me? How can I become more resilient and being able to love harder, love stronger, love more powerfully, love more purely? How can I do this? With them being the example for me. They are here to help me. We're working together. They don't know that we're working together, obviously, if they're betraying you and being, they're taken from you and stuff. They obviously don't know that they're working with you. They think that they're hurting you. I mean, if they're doing it deliberately and intentionally, well then, yeah, they really think they're trying to hurt you, right? which has been the golden egg of gifts for me, right? Deliberate and intentional. It's all for the greater good. So, releasing expectations on a monumental level, obviously it's going to take time. I mean, you can't just be like, hey, boom, I don't give no, I'm an IDGAF, I don't give a, I'm an IDGAF girl, I'm an IDGAF girl for everyone and everything, I'm an IDGAF girl. No, you don't have to go, balls to the walls IDGAF, you don't have to do that. Slow, a little slow here, a little slow there. Release this, release that, a little bit, because you're doing it for your own betterment, so that you feel good. That's you showing you that you love you. And by you showing you that you love you, you are also showing others that you love them. You're allowing them to be whatever douchebag they want to be, if they want to be a douchebag. Okay? They don't owe you nothing. Right? So if they want to be nice to you, if they want to be kind to you, well then it allows you to even respect them even more. It's a little bit easier to respect them. They're giving you a reason to respect them. But when you get really good at this, you don't need a reason for another person to gain your respect. You don't need a reason. You don't need them to be kind or nice or honest or, respectful. You don't need them to. No, you love them regardless. They can be a total douchebag to you and you still love the crap out of them. This is when you a really self-mastery and your emotional stability. You don't judge them at all. You don't judge how they are with you, how they choose to be with you, what their actions are. None of that. Because you have nothing to gain from them. Whether they're being, good people or bad people, whatever you want to look at as good or bad, because there isn't any good or bad. There's just lessons. So, today's message really did want to be landing home with, all right, we need to learn what it means to release expectations of other people. And once we are blessed with seeing how we can little by little release expectations of other people for our own mental, emotional well-being, and for theirs as well. Hot diggity dang, baby. Hot diggity dang, baby. Oh, yeah. Hot diggity dang, baby. Oh, yeah. We can get so much better at this. Yes. We can. We can get so much better at this. Allowing everybody to be just the way they want to be. And really, really genuinely loving them for being whatever they want to be. If they want to be a douche, if they want to be immature, if they want to, whatever they want to be. Right? Nobody owes you anything. And you're free. You're set free. Your heart is free. So I hope this message helped you today. I hope this is allowing you to feel, you know, a little bit brighter, you know, have a little bit more of a brighter hop in your step today, you know. I release expectations, I release expectations, I release expectations. Do it over and over and over again. Just say that, I release expectations. And then find what expectations that you're having of other people that you see that are actually hurting you, that you are ready to release. You don't have to just, you know, do like in my examples. But I hope you can see how this can help you. All right. I love you, beautiful souls. I love you. Mwah. Namaste.